Oregon wins the toss, will receive the opening kick. It's Arizona facing its third straight top 10 opponent, the 10th ranked Oregon Ducks. John Bonanno with an excellent kickoff through the end zone for a touchback. So we'll take a look at our Chick-fil-A Impact players.
And for Oregon, it starts with Darren Thomas, the unquestioned leader of the Ducks, has really grown in his maturity, understanding the game even more, and believe it or not, playing faster than a season ago. LaMichael James, really nice for a quarterback. If LaMichael, to hand off to a running back like LaMichael, if he's not the best running back in America, he is the most explosive. And Derek Earls will play both inside and outside. Imperative he gets his front seven to play with aggression and downhill this evening.
First and 10 for Oregon from the 20. LaMichael James in the backfield, joined by Kenyon Garner, who has been slowed this year because of an ankle injury. Thomas keeping it rather, after he fakes the handoff, and he is dragged down from behind by Lamar Dorrego, but there is a penalty flag down as Thomas is very slow getting up. Duck fans remembering a significant injury to Dennis Dixon here on this field. Don't want to see Thomas go down.
Personal foul, horse collar tackle on the defense, number 93. A 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
That's Lamar Dorrego, the defensive end. And by rule, anytime that skill position player is outside the box and pulls him down, we'll draw the flag.
Now that was not inside.
That was outside of the tackle box.
Thomas to throw on first down, complete to the outside. It's David Paulson, the tight end, and quickly the Ducks get ready for second and short after the completion to Paulson.
And as you watch tonight, if there's success on first down, you can expect that ball to be snapped in a hurry for Oregon.
So Thomas from the 45. Keeps it again, first down. Thomas tripped up by Trevin Wade after faking the give to LaMichael James.
Last year, Darren Thomas was very active in the run game against Arizona. They will commit to stopping the run with the front seven. And Darren shows he's fully capable and athletic enough with the lane there. He can move the chains with his legs.
Both James and Barner behind Darren Thomas in the backfield now on first and 10. Zone read again. Thomas keeps again. Cut back to get positive yards when Derek Earls and the rest of the Cats had him behind the line, but Thomas gets away.
The real frustrations for Tim Kish, defensive coordinator for Arizona. It's assignment football when you play the read zone. And for Arizona in this case, you've got two defenders that couldn't be in better position. Derek Earls, our impact player, has got to make that play.
Second and short, Thomas to the air, completing for a first down near the 30. It's Rasan Vaughn, the junior college transfer, to move the sticks. Oregon 51 points a game. For the last 2 weeks, they've hung big numbers on Nevada and Missouri State. First and 10, opening drive for the Ducks from the Arizona 30. Meanwhile, the Cats giving up 473 yards a game. They face some really good offenses. Another good one tonight. Thomas keeps it again. Darren Thomas rolling for a 9-yard pickup to make it second and short. Chip Kelly, 19 TD drives this season for his Duck offense, 5 less than a minute.
Exactly what Arizona does not want to see Oregon do, and that is to get into rhythm and tempo. No negative plays for the Wildcats. That is a recipe for disaster. Mike Stoops knows it.
James next to Thomas on second and short. This time LaMichael James takes it and rolls for an Oregon first down, stopped just outside the 10. A junior running back, Heisman Trophy candidate. Thomas hands off. James shaking inside the 5. Touchdown, LaMichael James in Oregon. An opening drive touchdown for the Ducks.
Was that just me, Carter? Did Oregon look like they were playing in a different speed than Arizona on that opening drive? We talked about penetration. Do you see any penetration? There is none. That Arizona defensive front is at a stalemate. When you're in a stalemate, you've got a jitterbug like LaMichael James. That spells real problems. And when you can't tackle in space, that yards after contact, it's going to lead to a lot of touchdowns this evening.
80 yards on the opening drive for Oregon, 53 of them on the ground. This is Alejandro Maldonado, who's on for the PAT for Oregon. Rob Beard did not make the trip, injured for Oregon. So it's the backup kicker Maldonado who sneaks it through.
They need to get it going. They have to get it going here early. The last thing you can do is dig yourself a hole against Oregon.
Thomas to throw on first down, incomplete, intended for LaMichael James. Trevin Wade there in coverage. The senior from Round Rock, the corner for Arizona, who was excited about the opportunity to play against the Ducks.
You saw Thomas on the back end, a point of emphasis for us in that front four. That's a four-man rush. That's Tuihalamaka getting to the legs once again to Darren Thomas.
So a couple big hits to Thomas. 2nd and 10 now. James and Barner join him in the backfield. Thomas will keep it. This time he is met and dropped. Lamar Dorrego makes the stop this time. Now can the Cats come up with a stop? James bobbles, makes the grab, leans for an apparent Oregon first down. Paul Vassallo there on the stop. So 3rd and 8. Arizona has Oregon backed up to 3rd and 8. Ducks convert to keep the momentum on the Oregon side.
That's second level of your zone. Those linebackers just getting a little too much depth for LaMichael James, showing his versatility out of the backfield.
Thomas the throw on first down, down the middle, incomplete. Intended for 2.5.
This will be an area for Oregon this season. Tonight, Trevin Wade, one of the better corners in the Pac-12. Last year, Darren Thomas had Jeff Mayo. He had the home run hitter, the go-to guy in those one-on-one situations where there is no safety that could take the top off and be a difference maker. Chip Kelly very much still developing that receiver, and Darren Thomas trying to find that continuity down the field.
Also missed the blocking of C.J. Davis from the wide receiver position. Timeout Arizona prior to 2nd down. DJ Davis. 2nd and 10. LaMichael James takes it around the edge. James breaks through into Arizona territory for an Oregon first down.
They actually run that zone stretch into a very tight boundary. Watch Oregon tonight. I told you defensively, you've got to dent. You've got to defensively get upfield and squeeze that zone. Watch Oregon's very athletic group that Chip Kelly has. It's young, it's inexperienced, it's still trying to gel on that offensive line, but they move sideline to sideline as good as anybody.
Play action on first down. Thomas throwing, completing inside the 30. And speaking of young and athletic, that's DeAnthony Thomas, the true freshman from Crenshaw High School in L.A.
Golden showing his level of frustration. Too early for your senior leader on the back end. I like the emotion. I like being vocal, but you can't panic against Oregon. They will continue to be patient and methodical. And as you're a senior leading some inexperienced around, you got to keep your cool.
Play fake on first down. Thomas to the end zone. It is just overthrown for DeAnthony Thomas again.
You have to have your back when you've lost as Mike has his last 5 conference games. You can't afford with the way you're running the ball.
This is Barner breaking a tackle on 2nd down for another Duck 1st and 10. This one just outside the 11. Another missed tackle.
Can't be a more explosive backfield in college football. There may be some teams with more top-end talent, but as far as running 4 guys out that can be difference makers, you're not going to find it anywhere else.
Oregon hurries to the line on first down. This is Barner inside the 10 to make it 2nd down.
Anthony Thomas, you referenced earlier, he's the 2nd leading wideout on this team. Fastest 200 meters in the country last year of any high schooler. Barner's a burner. LaMichael James is explosive. And oh, by the way, Josh Huff, too, who took 185 against the Cats a season ago. Those 4, quite an arsenal to attack with.
Oregon runs it again, turning upfield and into the end zone, almost untouched, is Kenyon Barner. 2 possessions for Oregon, 2 rushing touchdowns, and a 2-touchdown lead early in the first.
How many times have you heard zone blocking and put your foot in the ground and go, look at the offensive line, get some movement, you show daylight to the explosiveness of this backfield, and you're dead.
Maldonado's PAT makes it 14-0.
Defense coordinator Tim Kish, he feared that Oregon could take advantage of any weakness that you presented, It's exactly what they've done on the 2 opening drives this evening.
Dragging Jerron Kreiner, who's tackled in the open field. Locumbo makes a stop.
3 consecutive plays where 3 seniors, and that ball security for Kreiner can't happen. I look like Justin Blackman today. Get the ball in. You can't afford that. You're not good enough right now at Arizona, losing 7 consecutive to FBS schools, 5 in a row within the conference. It's the little details. Stoops knows that. It just drives him crazy to watch his veterans make these kind of mistakes.
Kadeem Carey gets a couple, but 3rd down again for the Cats. Such as 3rd and 4. Foles dancing out of the pocket, finds a wide open Jerron Kreiner for an Arizona 1st down. Kreiner still on his feet, spinning into Oregon territory, wrestled down at the 48 by Eddie Pleasant. 18-yard pickup on 3rd down, Foles to Kreiner.
Chip Kelly could not have been more clear in his evaluation of this game. He knew that Oregon was going to score some points offensively. The key matchup to him was Nick Foles. In his estimation, top 5 quarterback in America. David Shaw a week ago at Stanford said Nick's the most underrated college quarterback playing. And if he gets started and he can make some of these plays, Chip knows some of these matchups favor Arizona on the outside.
Foles rolling on 1st down. Foles flings it back. Dangerous pass, but it is caught by Morrison. After a couple of misses, Foles has completed his last 3. Carey gets the carry. Kadeem Carey breaks into the 2nd level to the 25. Eddie Pleasant finally brings him down. The true freshman from right here in Tucson is quickly becoming a fan favorite.
And this is a guy I like. He has got some burst and some athleticism, and no offense to Keola Antolin. He's just a different guy. He's a north-south grinder. Carries the explosiveness, the home run hitter recruited by most schools within the Pac-12. He's got a different gear.
He said he did like the Oregon Ducks uniform options, but still stuck with Arizona. Here's Carey again inside the 20 to make it 2nd and short from inside the Ducks 20-yard line. So red zone now for Arizona, where they have struggled to put it in the end zone, and when they haven't put it in the end zone, they've struggled to put it through the uprights.
Just 1 of 3 last season against Oregon scoring touchdowns. When you don't run it effectively, it's awfully hard as the field condenses in the red zone to provide the balance you need to attack the defense. This is a box count run check.
Foles looks to the end zone. It is almost intercepted, intended for Crump. John Boyette, the free safety, got both hands on it.
A really nice job by Nick Foles. What I mean by a box count run check, when they get into these situations, it's all about the numbers around the line of scrimmage. And when Nick Foles sensed pressure and watched the safeties come over the top, he gets out of the run call, tries to hit his home run. Just a little bit too much air on that ball as the safety recovers.
3rd down and 3, and when Arizona has struggled mightily in the kicking game, you think about 4th down just about every time. Carey takes it on 3rd and 3, stood up and dropped. So it's 4th and 1. What does Arizona do now? 4th and 1 in the red zone. Arizona going for it. Carey, close. Move the chains. 1st down, Arizona. 1st and 10 from the 15. Antolin back in at tailback.
Watch around the line of scrimmage. How many bodies are in there will dictate a run-pass call.
Ducks bring pressure. Complete on the outside. Breaking away from the first tackle is Buckner to make it a positive gain to near the 10. Jerron Kreiner at the top of the screen, matched up with a redshirt freshman, Terrence Mitchell. Foles to throw on 2nd and 6 to the end zone for Buckner. It is incomplete. Cliff Harris in coverage.
An easier throw to the boundary. No doubt about it. And Buckner awfully close, but that foot is out of bounds. The crowd wants a replay. I clearly see his foot on the white paint.
3rd down and 6. Heavy pressure coming. Foles. Back corner again. Incomplete again. Intended for Buckner with Cliff Harrison coverage. Now it's 4th and 6. Good hold. The kick is through. Kyle Dugancic is the punter and the holder, and he gets a terrific hold down, allowing Alex Zendejas to boot it through. That's stellar.
On the catch, not so stellar on the snap.
Last year, it has just been a constant source of frustration, including last week when it was Jaime Salazar against Stanford into the half. Miss. Start of the second half. Miss. 16-10 football game at that point. You put 6 more on the board, you're even at 16 with Stanford.
Really the turning point, and all of these losses we've talked about should have not even been happening. Mike Stoops last year, if they function within a PAT in the Territory Cup with Arizona State, they don't have this losing streak that they're currently under.
Thomas, play action, 1st down. Darren Thomas looking long and incomplete. Intended for Josh Huff, the sophomore from Houston. 3 and out last time Oregon had the football. Thomas keeps it. Tosses on 2nd and 10. Barner turns the corner. 1st down Ducks as Barner beats Robert Golden to the edge.
Well, if you're wondering how that ankle was feeling and whether Kenyon Barner was going to come back full speed, I think you've seen all of that speed clearly back. Chip said he'd be about 90% for this game, but just yet another weapon and a very deep skill set for Oregon in that backfield.
Final snap of the 1st. Thomas swings it to the flat. There's Barner at the 35. Kenyon Barner wrapped up in the open field by Paul Visala. To the College Football Hall of Fame, one of the key members of that famous Desert Swarm defense, honored on the field between the 1st and 2nd quarters here at Arizona Stadium. Won the Bednarik, Nagurski, and Outland trophies. First play of the 2nd quarter, LaMichael James carries for a brief game. Carter Blackburn with former all Pac-10 quarterback Brock Heward here in Arizona. 3rd straight top 10 opponent for the Arizona Wildcats. It's an Arizona team who has struggled, losing 7 of their last 8 overall. 3rd and 7 for Oregon. Thomas stepping away from pressure. LaMichael James, who had the big block to allow Thomas time to throw, makes the grab for the 1st down.
That's incredibly disheartening for a defense to get into the 3rd down situations against Oregon. And on 2 occasions tonight, LaMichael James has been the outlet receiver. 3rd leading receiver for the Ducks. Should not come as a surprise for the Wildcats. They will check it down to him. Why? Because of that speed he has to get to the 1st down marker.
1st and 10, it's LaMichael James again, turning the corner, and James is off to the races. Finally knocked out inside the 10 by Watley.
And Justin Hoffman outside may not catch a lot of passes, but watch the block. Anytime you see explosive runs, LaMichael's had 11 of these in his career, over 50 yards. Those receivers on the outside, very, very physical, well-coached position group by Scott Frost.
Inside the 15, Thomas hands off to DeAnthony Thomas, who picks up maybe 3 or 4. Oregon didn't have a play over 25 yards in the opening loss to LSU in Arlington. Explosive plays, big for the Ducks when they're on the roll. Thomas rolling, throwing, complete, touchdown Oregon. It's David Paulson, the senior tight end, who holds it in. Quick strike drive to begin the 2nd quarter for the Ducks.
What you've seen, unfortunately, for Arizona defensively tonight, they've let one bad play lead to a 2nd or a 3rd. They get Oregon into that 3rd down situation. They nearly sack Thomas. Instead, the little dump down, LaMichael gets the 1st down. The next play, the chunk play, and they're just on their heels. Instead of responding to adverse situations when that bad play, negative play comes, well, unfortunately for Arizona, they can't stop it.
Maldonado makes it 21-3, Oregon on Arizona. In crew from Tucson, Arizona. Oregon 21-3. Darren Thomas blown up. Is that what you mean by denting that lateral movement from Oregon? Vassallo.
It sure is, to a degree. Now, that's also the zone read and the option off of that. And Vassallo, we've seen on back-to-back plays, getting into space and making the sound tackle.
Quickly back to the line for second down. LaMichael James takes it, turns upfield. There's James spinning away. James for a first down. So even with a -6 on first down, Ducks quick snap it, find the seam, and James is up the field. However, there's an injured Duck on the play. That is the left tackle, Darian Weems. Patience is an interesting word for a team that is so hurry up, almost frenetic paced offense, but you're saying patience in the plays that they're running, knowing that eventually, even if you take a couple losses, those plays are going to work.
That's exactly right. It reminds me to a degree, and I know this sounds crazy because the tempo is very different, is the Indianapolis Colts. Another stretch zone team, a finesse team that just believes in what they do. Okay, you got us for 0. You got us for 1. But you know what we're going to do? We're going to come back with play action pass, and we're going to stick to it because eventually we'll find your weakness. And Tony Dungy knows this. Watching his son, Eric, tonight, one of the backup receivers for the Ducks. Eventually, we're going to get you. If we stay and stick to our details and our plan, we're going to wear you down, and we're going to make the big play.
And you have plenty of experience in that Indianapolis Colts system, Brock Hewitt.
Watching. I don't know experience playing.
LaMichael James takes it on first down, picks up a couple, flag down.
Personal foul, hands to the face on the defense, number 97. A 15-yard penalty will be added to the end of the run. First down.
It's another senior.
He's your right defensive end outside, hands to the face. He comes up under the chin strap to a degree. I think it's more of the movement. That tackle's head snaps back. That referee's looking at and draw the flag.
Ducks on the march again, straight ahead for LaMichael.
You know what else that patience does? And you see it on the other side for Arizona. We saw it very early with Robert Golden. You see it from Usman. You see it on the sidelines. It breaks down a team's composure on the other side. When you're willing to just continue to body blow and body blow and body blow, eventually get the uppercut. Eventually that frustration seeps in so much for that defensive side of the ball. And you've seen it happen the first 30 minutes of this ball game tonight.
Second down and short, play fake to James. So Thomas to throw. Flag down. Thomas to the end zone. Wide open receiver for a touchdown. Paulson. There is a flag down.
Illegal motion on the offense. Number 81 was moving forward at the snap. A 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Run. We'll sell. We get all those linemen moving downfield. We get all your eyes into the backfield. And we'll sneak a tight end receiver outside in those deep play action shots.
Thomas on second down, screen, Huff. Missed tackle, allowing Huff to go inside the 10 and knocked out. Huff was wrapped up near the line of scrimmage, but somehow gets free on the screen.
Oregon's really good. I don't know if they're this good. And what I mean by that, they're really good in their system and getting people in one-on-ones. I don't know if anybody should be able to run through 2 tackles as many times as the Ducks have done this evening.
That's Jordan Grandin, the nickelback for Arizona with that missed tackle. Allowing Thomas to throw on first and goal. Touchdown Ducks. It's Kenyon Barner. Darren Thomas has his second touchdown pass of the night.
Once again, you see the play action pass and watch what it does to your linebackers. All the movement, and it's that half second. You hesitate for one moment. Your eye is in the backfield. You lose leverage with the speed that Oregon has in the backfield. Touchdown.
Kenyon Barner, who had just 7 rushing yards in the opener against LSU before he went out with an ankle injury. Barner back on the field tonight. A touchdown catch, 47 rush yards, and the Ducks destroying Arizona. Thomas scrambling. He's dropped on first down. Visited a little bit with LaMichael James earlier this week, who talked about trying to run more physically. Said when he went back and watched that game tape from the LSU loss, thought that he was not being aggressive enough running the football at defenders. He said if, especially now in Pac-12 play, conference play, if I see DBs that I can run over, I'm going to try and run over them. rather than try and run around him, which has been something LaMichael said when he gets out of rhythm, he's trying to dance a little bit too much.
5'9" and 195 pounds. He plays so much bigger than that because of the force and the velocity with which he plays.
There's Barner stood up on second down to bring up third down for the Ducks.
LaMichael over 100 tonight now, averaging nearly 11.5 yards a carry. I don't know if he's the best running back in America. Trent Richardson would have something to say about that at Alabama. Marcus Lattimore at South Carolina. Maybe more complete backs as far as catching it and blocking and size and playing in the SEC. And LaMichael has got his taste against SEC and Auburn and LSU. And not fared quite the same way. But as far as just pure dynamic and a guy you want on your team because at any time he goes the distance, he may be the most explosive running back in college football.
Well, Mike Stoops said yesterday we faced the best wide receiver, the best quarterback, and the best running back. In his estimation, LaMichael James, 3 straight weeks. And there's very little argument, I think, about the best wide receiver, Justin Blackmon, best quarterback, Andrew Luck. And LaMichael James is one of, if not the best running backs in the country. And that is quite a stacked offensive group that Arizona has faced in 3 straight weeks.
Andrew Luck has no weakness. Justin Blackmon has very, very few, though. Ball security a problem today down in College Station. But by and large, quick, strong, physical. And LaMichael's developing the other aspects. And that's the big guy. That's Carson York, the left guard. Unfortunately for Oregon, we saw Weems go down last drive. And LaMichael needs those big guys. Those are his veterans up front on the left side of the line.
Well, as Carson York struggles to the sideline, he is our FaceTime profile, brought to you by Edward Jones. First team all academic honors, graduated in June, master's program. Strategy director for the ad campaign. Third down, Thomas to throw. It is caught by Paulson. Near a first down for Oregon inside the 20. Paulson already has a touchdown grab. Watley makes the stop.
If that makes any sense. All the hype and tension and LaMichael James and the speed. Darren Thomas, look, you got an unblocked guy right in your face. And you throw a bullet. He has no problem throwing between the numbers. It's those throws outside to the hash and the sidelines. It just need to continue to refine and take that next step and be like Andrew Luck, where there's very, very few weaknesses in your game.
How good was High School District 29 5A in the state of Texas? Brought Darren Thomas, Andrew Luck, Stanford safety Michael Thomas, all playing in that same district, same year.
First and second team Pac-10 quarterbacks last year, and Luck first team. The guy you're looking at tonight, dialing in, second team.
4th and 1 for the Ducks. Thomas corrals the snap, hands off to James, who bounces away and into the end zone. LaMichael James, touchdown Oregon. The Ducks rolling in the end zone. Alejandro Maldonado on for the PAT. It is good, and it's 35-3. Oregon, Arizona.
Nothing more needs to be said.
Alejandro Maldonado's kickoff after Oregon puts it in the end zone again to make it 35-3. Carey brought down again short of the 20-yard line. Well, LaMichael James is beginning to fly up among some of the all-time greats in this conference. LaMichael now into 9th place in career rushing leaders. That doesn't take into account receiving, all-purpose yards. A long way to go to get Charles White. When you go past Gaston Green, Anthony Davis, Steven Jackson, Ricky Bell, pretty impressive.
Former Duck Derek LaVille was hoping he could hold on to a couple of those records. And now LaMichael owns every Duck record. Yards, touchdowns.
Foles sacked on first down. It's Josh Cadeau who gets to him. LaMichael James in this game already. 189 all-purpose yards. 2 rushing touchdowns. That's first half. And there's still 2:20 to go in this first half. LaMichael and Darren Thomas, you think they're having fun? 2 Texas natives playing for the Ducks. Foles to throw on second down. Nick Foles' pass is caught. What a grab. David Douglas hauls it in. Nice catch by David Douglas to take it into Oregon territory near the 40. Cliff Harris there in coverage.
And Douglas, the one senior, yet to have a miscue really tonight, gets his opportunity. Cliff Harris one-on-one outside, does a nice job. You see him use his body and give Nick Foles just a little bit more room outside. The two best friends on the team, they finally hook up.
Carey, solid gain on first down, and finally some positive momentum for Arizona. Foles scrambling on second down. Nick Foles will take the hit and lean near a first down.
You have opportunities. Oregon's giving you some underneath throws and completions. You got to take them.
Foles, it's batted and incomplete.
We're actually starting to see some of the flash coming back with Cliff Harris as well. Nick Aliotti, defensive coordinator, said this week that Cliff had his best week of preparation. Coming into Pac-12 play, they're going to need him this season to be that dynamic playmaker on the defensive side of the ball.
Foles hits, he throws on second down to the end zone. It is caught for a touchdown. Richard Morrison, the sophomore, makes the grab.
His strength has been the deep ball. You got one early. You let get away from him, but outside of that, he's given his receivers opportunities tonight down the field to make plays.
Alex Zendejas for the PAT, and it is blocked. Hart gets his hand on it.
Nice little combination. Some of the man underneath coverage. Boyette unable in the two-man coverage to cover all the ground across the field. Not a lot of receivers or quarterbacks in college football. And Mike Stoops knows it. That's why he was frustrated after he sees Foles again take a shot.
Touchdown drives of under 2 minutes. So minute 4, it's going to be Oregon football again. Mike Stoops, even after a touchdown, PAT blocked. And so, just when you have some life, it starts to kind of slip away. Pooch kick, and it's recovered by Arizona. How about that? Cats go onside at the end of the first half to breathe a little life back into the Arizona sideline. Trevin Wade's going to come up with it off the kick from Bonanno.
I think Oregon just letting up a little bit. Bonanno's been burying those kicks for deep touchbacks. It's well executed.
Foles to throw on first down, over the middle, complete. First down and more for the Cats. It's David Douglas who makes the grab. Hurry up now for Foles in Arizona.
And a little different bounce to the step. Amazing what a play and execution and a touchdown can do for an offense. It'll be ready to snap right when the ball is put in play.
Oregon drops 2 deep safeties near the goal line. So Foles dumps it short. Kreiner makes the grab. He is wrestled down at the 35 by Anthony Gilden, the physical corner.
Please reset the clock to 38 seconds. Timeout, Arizona.
Is there anything big you change second half for Arizona?
You avoid the miscues and the negative plays.
More execution than anything else?
I think you do what Brandon Whedon did today, and that's throw it all over the yard. And take those shots, catch the ball, and tackle defensively.
Foles from the shotgun on second down. Nick Foles looking long and incomplete. Eric Dargan laid a lick.
If you're Nick Foles with a timeout left, 33 seconds, just move the chains. You don't need a touchdown pass here.
Foles pressured on third down. Slipping away, and he can't slip away from the last duck in. Dion Jordan, the junior from just up the road in Chandler, Arizona, gets the sack on Foles.
Because I think we know they're not going to attempt a 58-yard field goal. Sebastian Janikowski down here in the desert. It's a line game. And Dion Jordan, who they call the praying mantis. 6'7", 240, getting his first sack of the season.
That one's worth repeating. Nick Aliotti, I think, is the one who hung that one on him. The praying Mantis. Converted tight end, now defensive end for the Ducks. So one more shot for Foles and the Cats at the end of the first half. Oh, racing at 35 up there for the Ducks. The first 2 quarters of play. Kreiner's lined up at the bottom of your screen. Tries a double move. Here's pressure again on Foles. Foles has nowhere to go. Takes another sack to end the half. Once again, it's Jordan applying the pressure. Back-to-back sacks of Nick Foles is how the first half comes to an end. There is a flag down on the play.
After the play, personal foul, unnecessary roughing on the defense, number 75. A 15-yard penalty will be assessed on the second half kickoff.
We've seen Arizona now 3 straight weeks, all against top 10 opponents. Arizona's been competitive really through large stretches of those games. First half tonight, hardly competitive against Oregon.
Physical errors, mental errors, and way too many critical errors against a very good Oregon team.
And really all over the field, Brock. I mean, you can see 9 points on the scoreboard, the block PAT, but that really doesn't explain what has gone wrong for Arizona tonight. A lot of things go right for Oregon, but a lot of things really wrong for Arizona.
Yeah, many times those coaches will take notes on the sideline. You'll see them write little notes to themselves so they can remember at halftime. Mike Stoops wouldn't have enough paper. There were so many errors on so many levels. Offense, defense, special teams, every phase. Your veterans maybe most critically tonight not stepping up and being a real big part of the dysfunction we've watched in the first 30 minutes.
Now, 35-9 entering the second half. Can Arizona get back in this football game?
Well, sure they can. This is not the NFL. You're going to get possessions as fast as Oregon plays, and the opportunities you will get. You'll get enough possessions if you score every time, and that has to be the mindset of Nick Foles and a veteran receiving core alongside of him. The margin of error is 0 to none. You've got to score and score touchdowns on every drive.
Now the good news for Arizona, trouble running the football. 8-yard pickup on first down to begin the second half. Antolin close to another first down. On second down and short.
And one advantage Arizona will have, a little bit like Oklahoma State today, and we referenced that comeback earlier. They're a no-huddle team, so they don't have to change their whole identity and tempo. Now, they do have to get this third down, converted on fourth down earlier, but the pace with which they play should benefit them to mount a comeback.
This is third and short, 3rd and 1. Arizona only 1 for 9 on third down in the first half. Antolin converts, move the chains, first down catch before Eddie Pleasant finally makes a stop.
I'd be real curious to have heard that halftime speech from Mike Stoops. He has seen it all in a very difficult stretch for his team over the last year and a half. And I bet he challenged his veterans because those were the culprits in the first half. It wasn't your freshmen making mistakes. It was your veterans and your seniors and your leaders. I would bet that he got right into the faces of those veterans and challenged them to step up here in the second half.
8th year at Arizona for Mike Stoops, from the Stoops coaching family that includes Bob at Oklahoma. And Mike Stoops in Arizona, they have a win over a ranked opponent all 7 years that he has been at Arizona. They've never been through a stretch like this in program history, 3 straight against top 10 opponents. Iowa last year was the signature win when Arizona got off to a 7-1 start, then finished 0-5 in the last 5. That stretch rolling now to 7 losses in the last 8 games. Only win during that stretch over Northern Arizona, an FCS school. Foles to throw on second down, and it is nearly picked. Terrence Mitchell read it all the way, as intended for David Douglas. Here's third down.
It's a good little redshirt freshman corner. Cliff Harris on the other side. Arizona trying to go the double move. This is a disciplined Oregon team. The way they go about their work, their level of focus and detail. You saw the disparity of that in the first 30 minutes of the ball game tonight.
Pride themselves on takeaways. Foles on 3rd and 9. Hit as he throws, completes over the middle. Arizona moves the chains. It's Richard Morrison who makes this grab into Oregon territory.
I know why they came out and tried to run the ball early. You've got to slow down the rush of Oregon. The Ducks sacked Nick Foles, hit him, harassed him. They sacked him 4 times in the first half. You hope that rush, some screens, some draws can just slow down that front four and allow Nick to do what he does best, and that's chunk it down the field to in a variety of weapons.
There's Foles looking downfield. It is incomplete as Boyette laid what may be a scary hit on Austin Hill.
One more look here, Carter. You tell me, does Boyette, who's going for the ball and Hill starts to fall down, does he have a chance to avoid and hit him in the chest, or is he targeting the head? That's a 50-50 call.
Foles completes to David Douglas, and as you said, Brock, just one more point on that. That could have gone either way, but the emphasis is in player protection. You could easily understand where that could be flagged.
That's right. Now, can that be a little bit of a spark for this Arizona team that desperately needs one? You see one of your players carried off the field, the frustration from your head coach. That provides some emotion here for the Wildcats.
Foles flings it to Kreiner for an Arizona first down. He talked about the emotion of the head coach. Mike Stoops says, I'm not going to hold back. I'm going to be me.
Richard Morrison throws a really nice block for Jaron Kreiner. It's on 82. I'm real anxious. Jaron Kreiner's an NFL prospect. He's got a lot of skills, big-bodied. He's an impact player. I'll be real anxious to watch him here in the second half if he responds after a really difficult first half of football for him.
6 catches now for Kreiner, but a couple of big drops. On 1st and 10. Foles looks that way. It's batted and incomplete. Nearly picked. And Boyette may have taken Cliff Harris out, his cornerback, and charging over to try and get that pick.
5'10" and 200 pounds is John Boyette, and he throws every bit of it around. And Nick Foles here, when you stare down that wide receiver and you've got a center fielder, that's friendly fire.
Boyette had a big pick 6 versus LSU negated. It would have been a huge play for the Ducks. 2nd down and 10. Foles to the air again, completing. Morrison again. This is 3rd down coming up for Arizona. Antolin. Keola Antolin with a rushing touchdown, and Arizona has an opening drive touchdown to begin the second half.
There is a lot of time in college football. Clock stopping as often as it does, as fast as Oregon plays, 2nd worst in America in time of possession. You're going to get opportunities tonight. Got to be patient, take advantage of 2 safeties there in the red zone. A box count that favors run, and that time Antolin in the run game finally delivers for Arizona.
PAT is good, and a big cheer from the Arizona fans. Foles turns no one there, so he does a whole pirouette, finds Kreiner. Missed tackle allows Jaron Kreiner to go charging down to near the 31. This looks like the Arizona team that started 7-1 last year before falling apart in 2010, rolling into 2011.
It looks like an Arizona team that's simply executing. Pitch and catch, knowing what they can do and do well, and Jaron Kreiner has responded in this second half. That's why I love football. Okay, your back's against the wall. You played a woeful first 30 minutes. Well, now here's your chance with the other 30 minutes to make some plays.
Antolin, nothing doing on 1st down, trying to run behind Totogi. Well, as you said, Brock, it was going to take an Oklahoma State-like second half for Arizona, the way the Cowboys came back in Aggie land.
You got to be patient. You're not going to get it all back at once. That's why you run. You try to slow it down. Actually, DeWitt Stuckey, linebacker, runs off the field, dragging his arm a little bit. So Oregon's down a few people defensively. You've got to have patience if you're Nick Foles still to execute play by play.
Timeout, Arizona. And the momentum begins to slow for the Cats. Do you want to guess that maybe David Douglas made a mistake on that play, Brock?
It's a personnel situation, yes. And Mike Stoops going to let you know, and he's told us in our production meetings, and you see the calm figure there, David Roberts talking to his seniors. Mike Stoops said, I don't get on everybody. I don't yell at everybody. I treat my players differently. When it comes to my seniors, I will get after them, and especially for mental errors, and if they repeat the mistakes. Wasn't Roberts a real pleasure to talk to yesterday? Epitomized everything about a student athlete, aerospace engineer, just a tremendous young kid. And you saw him try to calm everybody down. Still have plenty of opportunity here in the second half.
He's trying to limit the entropy. Foles pass is incomplete on second down. The umpire in coverage. That pass is broken up by the umpire.
He's got some quicks. Yeah, it's just unfortunate. There's nothing you can do there. He's trying to get out of the way. Kreiner's trying to see the field in front of him to make a play.
Odd way to get to 3rd and 10. Foles to the air on 3rd and 10. Quick release, incomplete. Intended for Morrison. 4th and 10.
And that's unfortunate on 3rd and 10. That's one that Nick Foles has got to hit. A lot of that body language tonight for Mike. You have an open receiver. You picked up the blitz. That's going to move the chains, put you down in the red zone, and continue to build the momentum that you have started here by scoring in the first half and getting Oregon at least a little bit defensively on their heels.
1 4th down conversion tonight for Arizona, 2 tries. On 4th and 10. Foles is pressured. Foles releases. It is caught for a first down. There's David Douglas, who made the mistake in the formation, forcing Arizona to call a timeout. Comes back to the football to convert, move the chains.
Best of friends off the field. David Douglas sees Nick Foles out of the pocket, and what you're taught all the time as a receiver, be a quarterback's best friend. That play breaks down, come back to the football. Critical 4th down conversion.
Carey back in and running back. 1st and 10 just outside the 20. Carey gets a few. There's the play action. There's Foles' throw. Complete inside the 10. Douglas. Well, Brock Heward. Was that another expert breakdown?
If you're going to run and you're going to have the patience to do that, and you're going to get 0 and 1, then you better pay it off. And Keola Antolin, actually, that's the young kid. Look at Kadeem Carey. You referenced it earlier. The trust he's gaining from this coaching staff because of his willingness to stick his face mask in there. His sacrifice there buys the Foles the time to put them in prime scoring position. Douglas
over 100 receiving yards. That's a new career high. 1st and goal. Carey again. Carey met right at the line. DeWitt Stuckey, Kiko Alonso there on the stop along with Dion Jordan.
Tide's turning just a little in Tucson.
2nd and goal, pass complete, touchdown. David Roberts makes the grab. Is it a Cat comeback to close the night?
Just a simple little hitch route, a lot of space there. Kiko Alonso, remember, he's replacing Michael Clay, the best linebacker for Oregon. Arizona's found a little offense, a little mix, a little balance, a little play-action pass. All of a sudden, this becomes an 11-point game with consecutive touchdown drives if they can get this 2-point conversion.
Caught! 2-point conversion is good, and Arizona is right back in this game, 35-3. With 1:05 to go in the first half. Arizona scored on its last 3 of its last 4 possessions. DeAnthony Thomas trying to break away for Oregon. He is wrestled down in the open field by Trevin Wade, making plays on defense and special teams. In this game, it was a 32-point game. Largest comeback, 27 for Arizona. And what a comeback it would be program-wise for the Wildcats.
And sometimes scores don't tell the whole story, just like statistics don't, but 35-3 did. It was as one-sided a first 25 minutes of football we have seen in a long time.
Well, Brock said it would take an Oklahoma State-like comeback to close out the day for Arizona. Cats trying to do a cowboy impersonation. 2-A makes the grab as Oregon responds. Ducks only one possession in the second half so far. That was a 3-and-out. So that is the first down of the second half for Oregon.
And a takeaway would go a long ways for Arizona. One of the worst in college football. Just 2 interceptions through 3 games, yet to force a fumble. Can you imagine a takeaway on this drive?
James cuts it upfield. How about James finding a seam? LaMichael James takes the hit.
You do everything right. You get in position. Robert Golden comes down. He's the contained man from the secondary and just victimized. That's a 1-yard gain if LaMichael James isn't as special a player as he is.
Ducks snap it, 1st and 10. Give it to Kenyon Barner on first down. Stretching it out again. Barner takes it inside the 25.
Did you say Oregon has patience and doesn't panic?
Yes. Quick snap on 2nd and 4. Caught Arizona with too many men on the field.
Midway through the third quarter.
Arizona, they're second in the half.
Arizona Stadium. Cats trying to come back against Oregon. 2nd down and 3. LaMichael James has another Oregon first down, spinning out of bounds near the 15.
Two possession game. 14 points at that point. With as well as you move the ball offensively, that has to be your mindset.
Give it right back to LaMichael James on the same play. Stretched out, James bouncing, taking some hits, may have lost a yard. 2nd down and 10 coming.
One of the rare occasions we've seen this evening, what we talked about in the open, denting that lateral movement. Look at Arizona. Look at them actually reestablish the line of scrimmage and stopping LaMichael James' feet. Yeah, they're still brilliant. He's dancing everywhere. But instead of that full speed of momentum, he actually make him stop, and that's exactly what LSU and Auburn did consistently against Oregon.
Call it 2nd and 11. Thomas throwing to the end zone, incomplete. DeAnthony Thomas got a hand on it. Golden there in cover.
Their new kicker Maldonado yet to attempt a field goal in his collegiate career.
Rob Beard, Oregon's stellar kicker, didn't make the trip. Still battling a leg injury.
Where tackling is a premium. More than likely the ball will be thrown underneath the first down line. You got to tackle.
Thomas hands off to Barner, tripped up, stays on his feet. Barner slipping, diving near the first down. Slipping away from at least 2 tacklers. The line judge spots it just short. So you got 4th down and maybe a yard coming.
And no hesitation whatsoever from Chip Kelly with as well as they've executed in the run game tonight. Really nice call. Fasalo nearly trips him up and forces the field goal kick. He can't get to Barner. Ooh, I don't know about that spot.
Yeah. 4th and 1. Oregon nearing 300 rushing yards on the night. Keeps the offense on the field. Thomas will keep it himself. Thomas has a first down. Does he have a touchdown? Yes, he does. Darren Thomas stretching for a touchdown run on 4th down. What an answer from Darren Thomas in Oregon.
Patience, just relentless. It's as if they have more plays in their playbook they can continue to go as Thomas just follows Barner into the end zone.
Maldonado's PAT is good and hit all night long by the Oregon defense.
49 pass attempts and sacks come in all shapes and sizes. That's Keola Antolin missing on the linebacker. Nick Foles with an unblocked defender's got to get the ball out. And then just a meet at the quarterback on a 4th down, which puts an exclamation point on Oregon's effort tonight, just playing faster so many times in so many places than the Wildcats. A 4-man rush versus your 5 offensive line, and it was meet at Nick Foles.
5 sacks, minus 46 yards. Give it right back to Oregon, and LaMichael James, the Ducks' all-time leading rusher, goes over 200 rushing yards tonight. A 48-yard game by LaMichael James in Oregon.
And they will not let up. They absolutely will not let off the gas. one of the real advantages to the up-tempo system with which they play.
238 rushing yards in the game for LaMichael James. Nearing 300 all-purpose yards in the game. In fact, give him 303 now, all-purpose yards for the junior from Texarkana, Texas. LaMichael gets it again on first down, breaking a tackle. LaMichael James stays in bounds inside the 10. There's what LaMichael told me about earlier, running more physical, taking on the contact, getting through it.
And look at the stretch play. He finally is able to get a good edge. Paul Vassallo has just been a step late many times tonight.
20-yard gain, 1st and 10 for Oregon.
Said I finished third in the Heisman a year ago. I can still put up some prolific numbers. Well on his way to inching up the Pac-10 record books. One of his best efforts in his career tonight.
That's a career high 260 rushing yards in this game for LaMichael James. First and goal, it's Barner in at tailback now for Oregon. No gain there. LaMichael told me, yeah, I've always been fast, but it was summer before 10th grade. Started training by dragging tires up a hill in the middle of the summer in Texarkana, Texas. Been to Texarkana, Texas in the middle of the summer. You know what a task going uphill without tires is. LaMichael said when he came back for that 10th grade year, so sophomore year of high school, he had the extra burst that he has helped with him. There's Gary Campbell, the running back coach for Oregon, now in his 29th year. Barner inside the 5.
You asked me earlier about that number 10 next to Oregon. I'll tell you, they respond to adversity, and that's what really good teams do. This game got close. This game and the momentum had turned in Arizona's favor at home. Come out, 2 touchdown drives. And what did you see? What do you see Oregon and Chip Kelly do? Respond. Darren Thomas, LaMichael James, my best players. Say momentum. What's that? That's my next big play waiting to happen, and that's what they have done on their last 2 possessions.
Barner, touchdown. Second of the second half for Oregon. Kenyon Barner's touchdown has made it a 49-24 Oregon lead on Arizona. Here's Kadeem Carey on the return, spinning to the 24. LaMichael James, a career high tonight, 260 rushing yards, over 300 all-purpose yards.
204 rushing yards a week ago against Missouri State. Not really been included in many Heisman conversations after finishing third a year ago. Well, he gets back on the national stage tonight with a career night, and just watch his feet.
Our spotter, Lane Zeben, pointing out it's a Reggie Bush-like performance when he had 513 all-purpose yards against Fresno State in the game 2005. That's similar to the effort that LaMichael James has put up tonight. Foles and the Cats still pitching and catching. David Douglas rolls to the 40. LaMichael James tonight, 260 rushing yards, second highest in Duck history. Only Onterrio Smith had more.
I mean, that kind of night for Nick Foles, looking around aimlessly, trying to find the mouthpiece. I wonder how much more we're going to see of Nick tonight. He has taken an absolute beating through 3.5 quarters.
Foles play action, completing on first down to Geno Crump. Saw that sideline moment there with Gary Campbell, the veteran running backs coach with Oregon, and LaMichael James. The main reason LaMichael James is still an Oregon Duck is Gary Campbell. LaMichael was packing his bags ready to head out of Oregon back to Texas in his freshman year, and a contingency led by Michael Light. Chip Kelly was then offensive coordinator, but Gary Campbell. LaMichael and Coach Pilati and Coach Kelly all say Gary Campbell is the man who convinced LaMichael to stick it out in Eugene, and he has turned into one of the most productive offensive players anywhere in college football. Goes to Togi, stretching it out on second down, moving the chains to the 40.
And beyond that, they've got a youngster by the name of Trey Carson, who's a true freshman from Texarkana, Texas, who broke LaMichael James records there in high school. LaMichael paving the way for even more stars. The pipeline from Texarkana and Carson special. Different, 225 pounds. You may see him even in this fourth quarter.
Foles flings it complete to David Roberts. Talked to LaMichael earlier and asked him, how do you block out everything with Willie Lyles' investigation? LaMichael very close with Willie Lyles, who's part of the NCAA investigation into Oregon. They received that official letter of inquiry last Saturday. LaMichael says, how do I block it out? Practice. I go to practice. That's what we do. Chip Kelly is very focused. You hear it from a lot of coaches, but he is very much a believer. Nothing else matters except today at practice. That's the whole win the day philosophy. And when you ask LaMichael James about everything that's going on, he says, practice. Work at it.
Live in the moment, and all that distraction can exist off the field. You go onto the practice field day in and day out with the routine they have. And that's what I really respect about what Chip has built at Oregon. The habits that are developed through consistency and routine. He preaches it, like you said, and they also deliver.
Foles in Arizona driving. Geno Crump makes the grab on 1st and goal and stretching to the 5. Well, Arizona's done exactly what the Cats needed to do. Move the ball and move the ball quickly. Now it's get it in the end zone if you have any shot with 7:30 to go.
And onside kicks, and it's desperation time. And Nick Foles is probably going to end up with over 400 yards passing, continues to battle and take care of the football. And for Arizona, this brutal stretch is nearly done. A 4-game stretch, as difficult as anyone's faced in college football this year and any year, will come to a close next week in the Coliseum.
Antolin stood up. How difficult a stretch is it? You say, boy, you're done playing the top 10 teams. Now go to the Coliseum and play USC. I mean, this is first time in Arizona program history they've played 3 straight top 10 teams at Oklahoma State, Stanford, Oregon. Then it's at USC, and then another road trip after that to Corvallis to play at the box.
But you still have number 8. And I'll tell you, it had been very easy after the first half that we witnessed to roll over and quit tonight. And they didn't. They came out, they scored a touchdown, 2-point conversion, they scored a touchdown, and Oregon was just too good. LaMichael James, too special this evening, breaking tackles, making plays. But to put at least a little silver lining, you still have number 8 dealing. You're going to have him the rest of the season, and to come out and execute at a much higher level in the second half at least gives you some hope as you push into an easier second half schedule-wise of the season.
Foles fires, caught, touchdown. TD pass number 3 of the night for Nick Foles. It's David Roberts.
Exact same play we saw earlier, a 3-by-1. He's just going to hook up. Foles is going to anticipate where his senior buddy is. And his anticipation beats the coverage.
Already 1 blocked. This one is good, right through the uprights. Pause for celebration. Expect the onside here, Brock?
Absolutely.
Try the other way. Bonanno punches it high. This time the Ducks recover. So Arizona 1 for 2 on the onside kicks. This is a Pac-12 matchup. Not Pac-16, not Pac-18. It's Pac-12. LaMichael James and the Oregon Ducks are in the Pac-12 North. Arizona is in the Pac-12 South. And the important differentiation there is there's going to be a Pac-12 championship game at the end of the year. And Stanford and Oregon, the 2 front runners in this conference, are both in the Pac-12 North division.
And loaded with the top-end talent. That is what you see, I think, in a differentiator between the 2. Stanford has the best quarterback in college football. LaMichael James is making his case tonight with a career evening that continues to add on. He climbs up the charts in what is now, I guess, the Pac-12 record books, and inching his way up there with an incredibly productive night.
Ask Trevin Wade, the Arizona cornerback, about the difference between preparing for Stanford, preparing for Oregon, as James goes rolling for another first down. He said, Stanford, power. Oregon, speed. Both effective offenses go about it a very different way.
And 21 epitomizes that. And how about the heady play there? Just stay in bounds. Continue to keep that clock churning. Hoping in the final 5 minutes that both Thomas and LaMichael James can stay healthy.
277 the rush total for James. Oregon record 285. So Chip Kelly may be trying to get LaMichael to another record. He's already all-time rusher in Oregon history. Derek Earls lays a big lick on LaMichael on first down.
I told you earlier, if I was the coach making that fourth down call, I go for it. And I think if I'm the coach here with a healthy Barner, with the weapons in DeAnthony Thomas, I think I've seen enough from LaMichael James. I know it's not about records. I guarantee you that that is not in his thought process whatsoever for Chip Kelly. But I don't think I risk 21 with any more undue contact this evening.
Rarely see the play clock go under 5 for Oregon. They're trying to run clock, obviously. And there's James stood up, and he's taking some hits late in this game. Third down coming up for LaMichael and the Ducks.
Yeah, but you see what he does there at contact. You see his feet just continue to drive like pistons. They just never let up, and that's where there is a risk of injury. You get tied up, you're in a pile. Instead, as you said, he ran uphill down there in the humidity of Texas. Those legs keep churning all the way through.
And you don't need Google Maps to figure out where Texarkana is. It's where Texas and Arkansas join. Hence, Texarkana.
Thank you for the geography lesson.
Bonus. James takes it again, 3rd and 5, stretching for a first down for Oregon. And LaMichael James with that rush, 288 rushing yards in the game, the Oregon single game record, and LaMichael James is going to come out of the ball game. Kenyon Barner in there for 1st and 10. So Oregon's all-time leading rusher now has the single game Oregon record with 288. And the Duck fans who made the trip to Tucson applauding a tremendous effort of the junior LaMichael James.
And Oregon coming into the game with 260 rushing yards per contest, 8th in America. About 400 yards right now rushing total for the Ducks.
Darren Thomas rolling on first down. Thomas is, oh, that's a dangerous play near the goal line as Thomas, rather than going out of bounds, puts the shoulder pads down. And guess who's coming back into the game here for 1st and goal? LaMichael James. The night is not done for 21 as he continues to move up that incredible list.
It started tonight, 13th on that list, and has climbed some pretty impressive names on his way to number 6. It's almost surreal to see Oregon allow that play clock to tick down.
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, take a picture of that. Thomas, keeper. Darren Thomas will walk into the end zone, put 6 more on the board. The Duck is loving what he's seen tonight.
Continue to see those Arizona defenders. Tuihalamaka, the D tackle, 91. It's what that zone blocking can do. It sets up that zone read so well, the play action. And Thomas athletic enough. The hug there with Chip Kelly. All they do is execute. You're better than that, Duck. Last year they were full push-ups.
Yeah.
But he get tired last year by scoring 6,000 points. That's not his best effort. It's Thomas's best effort and the Ducks' best effort. Over 400 rushing yards tonight, but I've seen more from the Duck.
You expect more from the Duck, honestly, don't you?
You think it's the heat down here, 95 degrees?
Well, it's a factor. It's a factor, no doubt about it. It's 56 on the board for Oregon, the most that Arizona has allowed since LSU scored 59 here in 2003. And this was a ball game for a bit in the 3rd quarter, but it's all Oregon now. Togi, the running back, with the carry for Arizona. He fumbles the football out of bounds. Arizona keeps it.
Now, there's a lot of people not liking the Oregon Ducks in the Pac-12 either, because all they've done is won and been consistent and at times ruthless. If you're going to continue to try to run and score, well, Darren Thomas, LaMichael James, I'm going to continue on my end to execute and to score and to, as Chip Kelly says and preaches, to live in the moment. And Chip Kelly now 18-1 in conference play as a head coach.
That's unbelievable. 13 straight wins now for Oregon in conference play. To think that 5 years ago, Chip Kelly was the offensive coordinator at the University of New Hampshire. Now he's coached in a Rose Bowl, a BCS championship game, 13 straight conference wins, back-to-back Pac-10 Coach of the Year honors. And you think about the coaching stops for Chip Kelly, the native of Manchester, New Hampshire, Columbia, Johns Hopkins, and New Hampshire. And Mike Bellotti hired him to be offensive coordinator at Oregon, and Mike Bellotti hired him to be head coach at the University of Oregon when Bellotti became an athletic director and now an esteemed colleague of ours.
Many people can put a list together of the attributes and traits to be a phenomenal head coach. And obviously his innovation and his X's and O's is top-notch of what he does in the position he puts his talent in. The one thing that I really respect, and we showed the shot earlier of Tony Dungy in the stands watching his son, backup receiver here for Oregon, is consistency. Through the ups and the downs, the good times, the bad times, the adversity, there was nobody better than Tony Dungy to weather those storms. And Chip Kelly, with the mantra that he leads this program with, the consistency, the habits. There is so much that reminds me of Tony. Now, Chip's a little more emotional, a little more adamant on the sidelines when things aren't going his way and he doesn't like particular calls, or as we saw earlier this evening, when the linesmen aren't and the referees aren't setting the ball as quickly. But as far as the level of detail and the preparation and the work ethic in the consistency, very, very similar. And it sure carried this program to some tremendous heights.
Well, we were hoping for another duel in the desert between Oregon and Arizona, but too much LaMichael James. 288 rushing yards in the game, 2 touchdowns for LaMichael James, over 300 yards all-purpose running for LaMichael and the Ducks, and they will leave Tucson with a 56-31 win. For Brock Hewitt, our entire crew, I'm Carter Blackburn. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports.